great 4 years despite the pandemic, right? Because I actually believe the pandemic has brought out a lot of opportunity for the wrong reason, but for a good result. And I think even in the Black community, you've seen a lot of small business. You've seen a lot of people say, you know, I've always wanted to do this. And I'm telling you, if there's something you've always wanted to do, there's no better time than right now. Because tomorrow is not promised. If you look into our communities, if you're anything like the community I came from, I talked to some of our funeral directors, and their business increased 300% over the last 2 years. Oh, wow. Right? They were having 5 funerals a week, right? Where they hadn't been having 5 a month. So I'm saying, you know, it has impacted the Black and brown communities and other communities. There are a lot of children that have been left orphaned because young young families, young parents have perished because of, you know, not taking this seriously or not believing. And that's everyone's choice how they choose to go forward. In my view, Volusia County, I think we're in a good place right now.
Yes.
We've got work to do,
Yes.
but to me, everything goes in cycles, and I think we're in a cycle that's for, I say we're transitioning and we're evolving. And you're never gonna be what you were, and I don't think you should be, right? Because we're all becoming. Daytona is becoming what it needs to be for this time. It's never gonna become what it was, right? And I think we're creating environments for our children, for their children, right? And for quality of life for our seniors and retirees to also participate and have a great live, work, play environment.
Right.
So there's work to be done, but I think there's also great opportunities to achieve that work. And I always say, when you know better, you do better. And I think over these last 20 years in Volusia County, we've seen a lot of the what we did and the impact of it. And sometimes you have to pull back, adjust, and reassess and figure out how you're going to go forward for a future. And I think, to me, that's where we are. We need to rethink how we're going forward and the things that we can do to make a difference and in a better way. And that's why I stand for you, with you, by you, for us to make the best future for ourselves, for our children, for our families. And I've got a 87-year-old mother that I look out for as well, and I want the best for her. So it's all about us all trying to find the balance in life and bringing the best of ourselves to the table and trying to elevate others and inspire others to be their best selves. And that's generally where I stand. So I thank you for this opportunity to talk to you today and to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Yes, she.
Comfortable about going out there again. We will have a limit. There's going to be 40. So the first ones that get in there, We do have a 56 bus that's going to take us up there transportation-wise, but I want us to be comfortable. So the first 40, the trip is $150. You can't beat that. We're going to do a boat ride. We're going to go through the community and watch the, I guess you would say, the expensive homes or the rich area. We're going to, celebrity homes, that's what you would say. We're going to go past there, and then we're going to go to Ybor, and we're also going to go to Riverwalk. So we're going to just have a great time. So 150 per person. Our next tour is going to be Washington, D.C., which is going to be July 21st through 27th. It's going to be for 7 days and 6 nights. Can't beat the price, $791 per person. That does include continental breakfast for 6 days and 4 dinners, and more things come with it. But when you get in touch with me, which I have the flyers, I'll give you more information. The first $100 is due this month by like the 24th. And then it has to be paid in full before March. So I hope to see you. Not March, I'm sorry, it has to be paid off before May 14th. May 14th, 2 M's, May 14th. But the first $100 have to be paid by, as I said a minute ago, March 24th. Okay, so we hope to see you. Let's make it happen. I put in here exclusive deals, so let's make it happen in 2022. That's it.
Thank you. We celebrate. It's a birthday girl in the house. Birthday girl.
I need you to swallow the food.
A birthday girl. There you go. Happy birthday. Oh, let's get it good. Yeah, I'm ready to celebrate somebody. Because there's a few people that just need to be loved on, need to be celebrated. The birthday queen is here.
Okay, hold on.
Bartee, you want to say a few words to the birthday queen while she getting?
I'm gonna say everybody gonna say a few words as soon as she get it together.
Let me tell
Get on
y'all.
her She already has on her crown.
Let me tell you
What they call that there? What she putting on now?
sash.
Sash. All right.
Yes, yes.
She's sassy.
If you need a friend, if you need a confidant, if you need a prayer partner, that's this woman right here. If you need somebody who'll drive all the way in from Orlando just to be with you, that's this woman right here. If you need somebody just...
She can keep going and going and going. That's how wonderful this lady is. Yes, she is.
We don't want to know she is.
Okay, Bartee, is the camera on us?
Yes, the camera is on. Now it's
On
off.
the count of 3, we're going to sing happy birthday to tomorrow. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. We gotta do it the Stevie Wonder way. Happy birthday to you.
All right.
Happy birthday to you.
Get it, y'all.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Are we true friends?
Always.
Can I get a piece of that?
This is Bro Bro.
He's so good. He can't get one bro. He gotta have 2. That's
Bro,
my bro bro.
Bro Bro.
Can I get a piece of that cupcake?
All right. I got it, Bro Bro. I got it. Thank you, y'all. Y'all have a blessed day. I'm just glad to be here just to celebrate it the way God has intended. And we're beautiful people. Miss Sandra back there, blessed and spoke with her. I think that if I'm saying her name right. Hey, baby, wave your hand, Miss Sandra.
I love meeting God's people, and I will love on you and talk to you, and I'll find you in the room. You think you're hiding, but I see you. God see you, Miss Sandra. God bless you.
All right, God bless
We
you.
just want you to know you in the presence of family. We know you're in the presence of royalty, but you in the presence of family. So if you got anything on your heart, you want somebody to pray with you today before you go, you got somebody in your family that needs prayer, just let us know. Just come whisper it to the birthday girl, or let Laretha know, let Miss Shirley know. Miss Shirley, thank you for being our hostess today. Shirley,
What you need? I'm telling her, I'm good.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
right there. She got it going on.
Praise God for Miss Shirley. I thank you. I thank you. I want to thank Lady Energy just for being in the building. Lady Energy ain't gonna let multiple sclerosis get her. She talks about energy and spirits and knocking them out the way, and I'm like, I got to learn some of that. But if you don't have a smoothie, you missing out.
Yes, and it's an immune booster smoothie.
Immune booster smoothie.
Yes,
So
for our males, it helps fight against prostate cancer.
okay.
For our
Okay.
women, it helps fight against breast cancer.
Okay.
One of those properties. It also helps fight against brain fog, and it helps with anxiety. Any of those oxygen, if you have any blocking that's going through your bloodstream, the sea moss helps because it's 92 of the 102 vitamins that we need daily. So if you're not taking vitamins, just grab a smoothie, or if you don't want to grab a smoothie, I can make you some of the sea moss mixture, and you just take 2 teaspoons a day. That's it, and that's your vitamins that you're gonna need daily, because we gotta protect our bodies as we're going out. You know, the world is kind of opening back up, but we gotta make sure that we're protected. And if you need any help with your meal prep, let me know, because I feed you along your blood type. I'm off all 17 of my prescriptions for this, and I no longer do 5-hour infusions. Yes, so if you eat along your blood type, if you don't know your blood type, I'm the person to come to, and I literally will walk with you and talk to you every day until we can get either your doctor's office or the hospital to give you the information you need for your blood type, because a lot of doctor's offices hold it back from us. They'll give us a hard time just to get it, but they're giving us medicine, they're getting us in the hospital doing surgeries, and how are you doing these things if you don't know my blood type? Because you gotta make sure you're giving me medicine that's in alignment with my blood type. You gotta make sure before you do a surgery, this anesthesia is okay with my blood type. So I'm the little kid that's gonna fight in the spirit for you with your food, because if you eat right, you're gonna think right, and if you think right, you're gonna make better moves in life. That's me. I love y'all. I'm
Jesus,
Energy.
look at that. Lady Energy, I'm Be Positive. positive. So make me up a plan.
Yes, ma'am.
I need some meal prep kits because I don't like to cook and Bartee don't like to eat what I cook. So we
Sometimes.
well, I'm just being honest. Just being honest.
I got you.
Yeah. We want to introduce each of you to our books, our businesses, our products, our services. Agency that was invited by God. Because Tahara knew me before Bartee was in my life. And almost 9 years ago, the Lord sent Bartee to find me while I was out gleaning in the field. And I was mad at God. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with him, Lord? I'm serving you. I ain't submitting to no more. Mm-mm. And Bartee was enjoying being a bachelor and doing Motown concert. He was enjoying his groupies and his bachelorhood. And because the Lord said otherwise, and we both listened to the Lord, we now have books. We now have workshops. We now have programs. We now support community leaders. We're now able to use our gifts and talents in a way that pleases God. And so if you have something inside of you that's burning and you want to get it out, like Ms. Gertman said, if you got a business you want to start, if you got a story and everybody told you need to write a book about it, we can help you with that. Even if you just have something that you want to write monthly, maybe. I know a magazine publisher over there. She just as fine as she want to be. But you may want to publish your story in her magazine. If you've got a business you want to promote, her magazine go to 17,000, 18,000 people, and that was as of last year. I don't know what the numbers are now.
Now it's global.
Global. Folks in India got the magazine. Folks in Canada. Folks in Africa got the magazine. And I still got an issue with my daddy and my grandmama in the magazine. And so, Triumphant Magazine with wonderful stories. So we definitely want you to know you're in the right place at the right time. Angie BEE Bartee Productions also has a series of audiobooks. If you'd like to get some, just let us know. But I really want to hear from Cherise. I really, if you don't mind coming up here, I want to, because as excited as I am about things and as excited as Laretha is, man, Cherise just gets it going. She gets you excited about the community and what she's trying to do. So everybody, let's pay attention to Cherise Boyd.
Hello, everybody. Yes, I am Cherise Floyd, and yes, I am running for Volusia County Council at large. So my agenda, wow, I have a lot on my agenda, but the biggest part is, and I've been telling people, is to empower people. I exactly don't empower the people, but I think people don't realize they do already have the power. So I'm hoping to spark that power in them and let them know local elections are the most important elections for everyone sitting in this room right now. Doesn't matter what your party, age, race, anything, background, mental health, veterans, nothing. The most important thing that we all have in common outside of life, of course, is our ability to be able to vote locally, and those are the decisions that impact us on day-to-day things. The other night we listened to our president. He talked about the State of the Union. How many people in here can honestly say you could relate to half the stuff he said? Wow. You can't. But I bet you if Barb Gertman gets up here and she just talks about 3 of the last things on the agenda, you would see the relation instantly. Yeah. So my goal is to get more people involved voting locally and being a part. What I learned, which is a very sad fact, is that when I ran for mayor, only 26% of people voted in the entire city of Daytona. So you're telling me 74% people don't care what happens? It's not that. A lot of them have lost trust. They've lost their ability to believe. A lot of them are former people who've been arrested and they don't have the right to vote, or they don't know how to get that right back. Those of all people are the ones who should be at the city council meeting, commission meetings, online, calling me, asking me questions, or reaching out to local officials, because that won't change if we don't get people in place that want it to change. So I am very nerdy. I'm a historical buff. I do a lot of research, so I can go on in depth. My reasons overall are to get people more involved, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. If we could get more people out here who want to do just half the stuff I want to do, I would sit down and not run. I would mind my business, keep supporting from the sideline. But unfortunately, we don't have a lot of firecrackers out here. And I'm a firecracker. Like, I'm a small thing, but I'll get you attention in a crowded room. And so, long story short, that's what I want to do. I just want to get people's attention and bring them to the forefront. I want, somebody said to me, Like, I'm gonna tell you real quick, my mom never voted a day in her life, okay? My mom grew up in a very crazy environment, never voted a day in her life, but she was a registered voter. My father never voted. He was a registered voter, went to prison so many times, he lost his right and never got him restored, whatever the case. I have been voting since I was 18, period. Don't even know why I voted some days. I was just like, oh, I gotta vote. Because I understood one thing really important, and I say this when I joined the NAACP. I can't even imagine what it would be like to be one of Dr. Martin Luther King's children, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s children, to know my father died so that everybody out here that looks like me could vote. I didn't have a father, and these people don't even want to show up at a poll. Can you imagine how that feels? So not just him, but how many people died so I could vote. So when I used to go vote, I literally voted just to vote. Right. Didn't matter. So but I became the educated voter. Then I realized, wow, I've been just marking the boxes without understanding. Not just reading, because I read, but you have to understand. So hopefully me being in office, these are the kind of conversations I'm going to have with people. I understand the agenda. I understand taxes. I understand the issues on the beach. I understand the issues we're having with anti-sex trafficking. Anyone who follows me knows I speak on all of those subjects. So if you know what I speak on, then you know me. What I'm running for really is to get people back in the position to want to be involved in the decision-making process. I want to see 74% voting and not just 26. Everybody's not going to vote, I get that. But a lot of people don't vote for the wrong reasons, and some vote for the wrong reasons. So I'm big on I don't care who you vote for. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Just vote. Get out here and make a difference, because every decision, the traffic lights, the money, the schools, the amount you pay for a fine, your tags, driving on the beach, all of that is made by people locally. So if you have questions, I'd love to hear them. Some of the things I'm big on is the recidivism here. So let's talk about that if I have a moment. So I understand universally how things work together. They're cohesive. This affects this. Every action has a reaction, and we can't always control the outcome of the reaction, right? So recidivism, right now in our county, we have the highest recidivism rate in the state of Florida per capita when you look at places that do not have a reentry center. A reentry center is what we use for people who leave the jail system or transitioning out to reestablish them into society to be functioning. They've done the crime, they served their time, let's get them back functioning, because prison does reform, but it does not reform in a positive way. They have to conform while they're in prison, and then they have to reform to come out. So understand that. So there's a mindset. So you go to prison, and this is your life. You come out, you lose this, you do this, you do this. You come back, you don't even know what the internet is. You don't know that there's a smartphone app. There's a lot of things they don't know. More importantly, most of them went in. 9th grade is the education level of the average person in prison. So now we have 9th grade average mentality, coming back into society, or not for sure, went in with what? A criminal mindset, bad decision, drugs, whatever the case is. Majority of those things are what it's going to be, gang related, etc. So they come out, now you want them to get a job. Where are they going to get a job? We don't want to hire convicts, we don't want to pay them much, it's hard to find somewhere to live. Believe it or not, people do get money when they come out of prison, if you don't think that they do. But that's a whole nother thing, they don't even know how to get that money. They want to get their rights back, they've served their time, they don't get their rights back. So now you have people who are re-violating, and they're going back into jail for administrative purposes, basically, not showing up on parole. Some piss dirty or do dirty or something like that, or they don't have a steady address, their family doesn't want them back, maybe it was domestic violence, they can't go back to their husband, wife, or whatever. There are scenarios, and we're putting them back out there to fail. We brought them in here to punish them, now we send them out there to fail. So we don't have a reentry center. And I know this sounds like a small thing, but Sheriff Chitwood just got a mental assessment center for the juveniles that's going to be coming up there across from the jail, and they're going to build that. It's like $5.4 million. So if I told you I have a property and I know someone that says, hey, you can use this for a reentry center. I talked to him yesterday. He has a lot of properties. And he's like, yeah, we can do that. Now we just got to get the funding. Here's the funny part. The state of Florida, I think, spends $5 billion on administrative fees to bring people back through the system constantly. I did the numbers some time ago last year. I did a live. So if I tell you it only costs $5 million to run this a year, do the math. We are taking, our inmates are, I think the state prison is like 140 inmates per guard. The reality is, we're not in control in the jail, we're not in control on the streets, law enforcement want to say that, and we're not in control in the judicial system. So if we can take the alleviation off of them from sending people back to things they shouldn't even be in there for, homelessness is a big thing in our county. We are seeing this man, what was it? He got arrested like 70-something times one year. He was like the most famous arrested person here. Like he's just going back because they're homeless. This reentry center is not just for people who don't know how to go back after they've been in prison for a long time. We want to stop the ones who just keep going there. If that means we need to find a location where they just need in the summer times to get something to eat and drink, we do that. If we need somewhere for them to get somewhere to sleep for a night or two, then we do that. What we can't do is keep sending them back to the jail. We have people walking out of jails, employees in their drawers because they just quit. They can't do it anymore. This is a true story. They just walk out. They can't because it's too much. They're being mandated. They're working a lot of hours. They don't get paid much. You'd be amazed how many of our police officers, firefighters, EMTs are on welfare or social services and receiving income. So if we take that burden off, just that one burden, you have taxes, you have the crime, you have jobs, you have input from all the nonprofits in the area want to do this. It's a small thing, but it's probably one of the biggest things that we're lacking. So that is one of my main things. I also want other things. You go to my website, voteshariceBoyd.com, you'll see it. And I don't want to overtalk, but that is my baby right there. I work with the Prison Reform Board for the NAACP. I sit on that chair. And I feel like there's so much we can do, but the reality is I can't do it alone. Me and you in this room can't do it alone. But it is, in fact, it's impacting every single one of us individually, taxpayers. I mean, look around. So that's my tangent of that, and there's more, but I don't want to bore you because, like I said, I got a lot up in here. So,
incarcerated and not being taught what to do when they get out. I cannot imagine an adult not knowing what to do when they get out. And I know that during the pandemic, Angie BEE Bartee Productions, we were introduced to a young man in Duval County who had been incarcerated. And he tells a story about how he came out and people were, trying to introduce him to a cell phone and the internet. But God used him while he was incarcerated. He had at least 15 spiral notebooks with handwritten thoughts and feelings, and he just wrote. And his handwriting was so scribbled, I call him a doctor, but he just wrote. And we were able to take several of his books and narrate them into audiobooks, which was, most affordable at the time to get something produced so that he would have something to sell and to share. And he came with us last April when we were on book tour. He came out to Tampa and he shared part of his testimony. And so if there's anything that we can do along that realm to get their story out, to give them a reason to talk about what happened to them or a purpose, even an anthology. I tell you, sometimes a book tour like this one is becomes so transparent, but it becomes purposeful at the same time. So I thank you for what you're doing. We will be in touch. The Retha's going to be in touch with you. We're going to do some things. If you need Bartee and I to come and speak and pray, we're definitely got enough folks to be in that area with you. So thank you, Cherise.
thank you.